Hey guys, so this is my first ASMR video, but I enjoy ASMR so much that I wanted to make one. So today I wanted to show you some basic sewing supplies. I really enjoy sewing. It's something I like to do in my free time. So I figured let's go over some stuff. I'm going to talk about what they are, what they do, maybe just a little bit how they work. I'm not a professional. I don't do it for a job, but I really enjoy doing it. So it's something I wanted to share with you guys. So I'm going to start with this right here. These are in no order of importance. So this little box is filled with pattern weights. There are 6 pattern weights in here. And it's got this great plastic. It's got a little insignia right here. It opens this way. It's got a little latch right there. Okay, and it opens. And it says on the inside, Wonder Weights. So these pattern weights come like this. They're nice and heavy. So what they do is you set them on top of your pattern. So you have a paper pattern that you lay on your fabric when you're going to cut it out. And instead of having to pin it, maybe you have a simple one or you just really don't need to pin it all the way around, you can use the pattern weights and set them on there. So there are, like I said, there are 6 of these. These ones are white and they came in this little white container. And on the inside, see, mine's so old, it's from the 60s, so got a little broken right there. It's shed a tear. So right here, that's great. But I actually have 2 of these sets, so I have 12 of them in total, which makes it easier to cut out something if I don't want to or don't need to use all of them. The other one is similar to this, just the box is purple instead of white. This is that really great old-fashioned plastic that they used to use in the 60s and 70s. It's like the perfect amount of thickness. So let's put these back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the next thing I look at are needles. There are lots of different types of needles. There are different ones for sewing machines. They do different things for different fabrics. These are just a few. You don't have to use a sewing machine to sew, but sewing by hand might take a long time, and that's more patience than I generally have to do a whole project. Most of the things I like to do are clothing, and it's really much more, it's much easier, and you get a better finish by doing them with a sewing machine. So here I've got, it's called a twin needle. I've got a couple of different ones, and you can see this one's further apart, the 2 of them. I was always very intimidated by using these before because they wasn't sure how to use them, but they're actually extremely easy. You just thread 2 threads at the top. But these are really good for stretch fabrics. You can use them on jersey and other stretches to make it seem a little less rigid. So it's really good on finishing the collar or the hem or the sleeves. Really good. Here's a different one. It's a little bit wider. It's got some raised text on the outside. Circle. S-I-N-G-E-R. Singer. Twin. Stretch. 4.0 millimeters. 80-11, which is the size. 4 millimeters is how far apart these two are from each other. And the 80-11 is the size. So there's 2 of those. These are some sewing machine needles, 2 different kinds. There's universal, and it's backwards. There's universal, which is for woven fabrics, and then ballpoint, which is for stretch. So a lot of people think that it's gonna look like a little ball, but the needle is so small on the inside that you really can't see it with just your eyes to see that it's rounded, but it helps with the fabric and not snagging it. But that's great. So you can see that I've already used a few of these in here, and I have several of these. It's always really important to have extra on hand because you just never know when you might break a needle on accident, or one might be dull and you have to do it. And here's just one more kind. This is a thicker needle. So this says 110/18. This is by Schmitz, and it says letter, cure, leather. So this is a much more heavyweight sewing machine needle that can be used for leather. If you try to use a small regular needle, it's not going to get all the way through the fabric. It's not going to be successful. You're going to wonder what happened, and that's why. So those are just a few different types of sewing machine needles. We're going to look over here. We're going to look at this little roller sewing gauge. So this is really quite old. This one actually belonged to my grandma. So I keep it around. It still works. It's a little bit bent. It's metal, but it's a little bit flexible. But I have another one, but I usually prefer this one. So it's got this little slider. It's very pointy, so I'm not gonna grab that, and it moves back and forth. So you can measure a depth. This is really good for hems because if you fold up the fabric, you can easily see, go around and check that it's all the same amount so that you're getting an even seam. That's really handy. Or you can just measure it. It goes up to 6 inches, and right here it's got 5/8, and this is 5/8, which is a very common size for a sewing seam or a seam on clothing. And then it's got centimeters down here. Let's not forget about centimeters, though I wish I was better at centimeters, understanding them. So my bad for that. Nice little sound, very delicate sound. So that's that little roller. Okay. What else do we have? So this right here some Taylor's chalk. It actually comes out, this is a type of chalk. Now it's not the kind that you would write on chalkboard with. It's formulated a little differently, but it could come off if you scratch it, but really it's pretty firm. And it goes in this little holder. I like that one. You can get other colors to go in here. I think I have a blue one as well. So on the top it also has this little metal piece that you use, and you slide this. It's to sharpen the edge. And why do you want to sharpen the edge? Well, when you go to mark your fabric, you're going to mark a line or mark the spots you want. If it gets really wide and dull, you're not going to get a nice precise line like you want. So you use this to sharpen it. Kind of nice because it's built in. Sharpen this. There's a little bit of chalk right here. It's coming, but I'll just clean that up. See it? It's got this. So this is a good one. You can see it's a little sharper. Comes off. So you just slide it in there. Now hold on, and then you can do this. Now I do have a blue one, because if I have a white fabric, this obviously isn't going to show up on it. You have to be careful with the blue that it doesn't stain the fabric. Make a mark on it that won't come out. So that's really nice. Okay. So what else do we have over here? We have this basting thread. Now this is not something I knew about until fairly recently, when I was taking a sewing class from an Italian seamstress, and this is cotton Italian basting thread, and there's about 200,000 yards on here, or so it seems. I can't imagine ever using this much in my lifetime. Basting kind of works like pinning, but it's a little bit more precise, and you can get more done. And so you take this, you thread it, and you stitch your seams together that you want for fitting purposes or to hold it together if you've got kind of a tricky seam. So you put that together. And the nice thing that makes this basting thread is you can baste with regular thread. The thing that makes it so unique about this type of thread, and they make this in different colors, is that you can easily break it. Try doing that with a regular piece of thread that's polyester. You're gonna probably hurt your hands a little bit. That stuff's pretty strong. So this is strong enough to hold in place, but also you can tear it easily with your hands to quickly and easily remove the basting thread. So this is really handy. Like I said, I can't imagine ever using this much, but hey, that's okay. I'll always have it. Maybe I'll pass this down to my grandkids someday, and then it'll be in all my posterity. They'll have it forever as a memento of their grandmother and great-grandmother that here's this basting thread that I've bestowed upon you. Okay, let's look at something else. We've got these. These are some thread snippers. I don't know how loud that's gonna be, so I don't want to do it too much. But these are really quite sharp ones. I can use the blade also to do little slices if I need to, but these are spring loaded. Always stay open, and so you can easily cut your thread with them. Got this big enough, so you can do that. But because these are so sharp, honestly, I could cut a little bit of fabric with them. Some of them aren't quite as sharp as this, but these are pretty good ones. Sometimes you have to replace these because they start to get dull, and then they don't work, and then it's just frustrating all around. This is something else that we have. Okay, this is a very crucial tool to have in sewing. This is a measuring tape. I'm sure you know what this is. This goes up to about 60 inches. The last one right here is 60. So upside down, backwards for you, but 60, and then it's got a little extra space. So one side is 60 inches, and the other side is 150 inches, 150 centimeters. Sorry. So this is perfect for really measuring anything you need, especially on a person. If you need to measure how big a waist is, your own waist, how big to make a sleeve, which you always want the sleeve to be big enough for your hand to fit through, with a little bit of space. You don't want it to be tight. So it's good to have a couple of these, especially if you're moving around wherever you're sewing. One by the sewing machine or one by your iron, wherever you're going to be sitting, so that you're not scrambling around trying to find one. You can easily get it. You don't have to worry about trying to figure out where you left it, wondering why you accidentally put it in the fridge when you went to get a snack. You know, something like that, when you have trouble finding it. And these you can buy these super cheap really anywhere. So I have, I think, probably 5 or 6. Not all of them I use as much, but it's nice to just have them there. And do one more. This is a marking pen. It is disappearing ink on one side, mark be gone on this side. And I will say, from experience, not to leave this on for a long time and then forget about a project and come back to it. Because despite saying disappearing ink and mark be gone, it may end up staining your fabric. So the blue one, the Mark Be Gone, is water soluble ink. So you mark on your fabric and then you're able to use water to get rid of the mark. I'd say be careful on white and light fabrics with it, but I haven't had problems except for when I started a project and left it and then came back to it, and it was hard to, it made kind of a little discolored spots. And on this side is disappearing ink, and it says air and water soluble. So I have had this both disappear and not disappear before. You can use water to get rid of it, but I left it on a project and came back the next day or 2 days later and the marks were gone. They had disappeared. So product makers, good job for making a product that worked. That was my own fault for not finishing it. And it just looks like a little marker. You could write on you very lightly. You have different types of things to mark your fabric, like the chalk we saw earlier. This one's really handy. It's nice how precise it is. This one's starting to get a little bit frayed because of being used so much. But it's a good one. This is my preferred one. So I have a lot more things that I can show you, go over, but that's going to be it for right now for this one. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you guys have an amazing, awesome day.